everyone, I hope you're well. It has actually warmed up outside, which is really unusual for this time of the year in UK. We have about 13-14 degrees, which is lovely. It feels like springtime. So this is why I'm still kind of wearing a jacket. I just came in. I brought my car to get the brakes checked, and it's just so lovely and warm outside. So I just thought I'm quickly gonna go to my studio and film an intro. So in this, I knocked my fairy lights. There we go. I love fairy lights. And this time of the year, it's such a good excuse to have them, like everywhere. I find myself going to... Yes, so I find myself going to different garden shops and getting more and more fairy lights, but I think I'm good now. I'll show you actually our tree that I set up. We have two trees. One is in the kitchen and it's the small one, like a 5-foot tree, and it was the first tree that I got when we moved to this house, and Mason just turned 1, and yeah, so I wanted something quite sort of small and compact and neat. And this year is the first year that I ordered a 7-foot tree, so it's not too big, but it's definitely a good size, and all of my toys fit onto that tree just perfectly. So yeah, I'll show you a bit of that at the end of the video. What else? So what we're gonna do in this vlog is a couple of things. So firstly, I will swatch out the previous vlogs Jackson's haul, and so you'll see the swatches. The other thing I have done is I have now painted all of the lids of the 7 new colors as well. And I have now separated warm and cool tones. So there is still a little bit of space left for a few more, but I think otherwise it's quite a good collection here. The other thing I will be doing is actually creating some art. And if you remember, what I was trying to do and hoping to do is to develop my own style. Actually, I'm getting hot in this jacket now. Develop my own style for English countryside, drawing it as I see it, in the colors that I see it. And yeah, so that's kind of was my goal for the coming months. And I have filmed a bit of a process for this little selection of drawings, and it was so much fun. I love the colors, I love everything that's going on here, and yeah, you'll see some of that as well. Also, I will be using I think I will be using some of the products from the December Jackson's haul, but mainly I will be also using the color matching guide, so you will see how I use it and what I do with it. I think those are the things that we're going to be doing. Alright, it's getting a bit hot in this room, so I think I'm gonna open the window and maybe do some drawing, and I'll see whether I will film that for the upcoming vlog. So that's it. Enjoy the rest of it, and I will see you at the end. Right, so let's swatch out all these lovely art supplies. So the first pencil is this hot pink, and it's called Luminous Opera by Holbein. It's one of their neon colors, and I believe they are not light fast. The green was apple green, and I'm just comparing it to a couple of greens that I had already. So this one is a darker green, and it's the leaf green. And then here is the chartreuse green. Both of these greens came in the 50 pastel tone set, and you can see they just, the trio of them together looks just scrumptious. So the next thing will be, oh, actually it seems like I lost the footage there. So I have swatched out golden acrylics in Titan Violet Pale, and it's just like a slightly tinted white, very gorgeous color, very contemporary. Next to it we have the golden high flow. So that was, the first one was the heavy body acrylics, and then high flow, which is very reminiscent to a acrylic ink, and the color is transparent red iron oxide, which is just beautiful. Now we're moving on to the Holbein Acryla Gouache. The first color is deep yellow, and it's a beautiful, super warm, gorgeous color on its own, but it's also quite useful for mixing. Then we have light red bright, which is a kind of earthy red color. The next red that we have here is the Vermilion, and it reminds me actually quite a bit on the Winsor Newton Gouache Orange Lake Red. Orange Lake Deep. I don't have the swatches next to each other, but it does remind me of it. Then we have the beautiful pink, which is basically like if you took a very bright pink, like an opera, and added some white to it. That's exactly what it looks like. And here we go, opera right next to it. Of course on paper here, or rather in the screen, it just does not look exactly the same. It looks bluey. In real life it has that true warm toned, glowing, hot pink, neon pink. Next color is just amazing and so beautiful. It's pale aqua. It sits so well together with colors like burnt sienna, and sort of these warm browns and reds. And then we have Horizon Blue, which is another gorgeous blue color, which I also have in the watercolor as well. And I think I have it in the pencil form too. So I did mention this a few times. I am quite inspired by the English countryside, and we have moved here quite a few years ago, and I find all the fields and all the nature just mesmerizingly beautiful. I never tire of it. I always find something beautiful to appreciate, and especially with the seasons changing, there is kind of like a difference to it, and the patterns that you notice, the colors that you notice. So basically I'm trying to develop my own style and also my own color palette. So, you know, trying to capture the essence of the English countryside, but through my vision, through my kind of style. So this is a fun way to just really explore and bring all of your art supplies together, work on the combining the color palettes as well as different mediums, and just going for it. Now this is what I essentially want my channel to transition to. Not thinking about what to create to please my audience, but rather create what I find the most satisfying. But I want you to be part of it, and as if you are in my studio at the time when I'm creating, and you are just looking over my shoulder and seeing how I feel. You know, I just want it to be authentic. I have to say, I really have been enjoying the Holbein Acryla Gouache. The colors are beautiful, and they allow you to find that perfect middle ground between watercolor and acrylic paint. And it takes a little bit of time to get used to this medium and work it the way it needs to be worked, but it is a lot of fun. So now I am going to actually give it a go to this new set that was kindly sent to me by Durban, and it's not new, but it's new to me. is called Durban Inktense Paint Pen Set, and it's the number 2. Well, actually, they are a more recent product that has been added to their line, so they're not super brand new, but they are kind of newish. So these were based on their beautiful Inktense pencils, which I love so much, and it was in fact my first ever product pencil that I tried from Durban many years ago. And so I was very interested in seeing how this product would work in a kind of like a pen form, so similar to what watercolor does and comes in. So they are very intense, and they are very reminiscent of the Inktense pencils, and they don't flow as watercolors would. So depending also on colors, they behave slightly different from one to another, but they're a lot of fun if you like that punch of color. 3 colors from this set: the turquoise for the blue sky, and red oxide for that hill, and of course sherbet lemon, which is probably the favorite color in the entire set. So here I'm using the color matching guide, which is really useful. So basically I want to create drawings of trees, and I wanted to use 2 specific colors. So one is like a very dark blue, and the other one is a grayish or like a bluish gray. And so I found the matching colors on the color matching guide, and then I was able to take those cards to the color palette that I have in each of the pictures and match and see which color actually would work better. You could do the same thing just by swatching the pencil on a piece of paper and hold it against. But I don't know, this kind of works nice and quick as well. So you have 36 artist colors here in these cards, and then the colors above it are mixed with ivory black, and the colors below it are mixed with titanium white. So this is how you get the range of the colors. Here I'm trying to match the Titan Violet Pale, which is the golden heavy body acrylics, with the card, and it does say in there that you won't have every single exact color in these color mixing guide cards, but you can find close enough colors to match, and that's how you should be doing, and that's exactly what I did. So I found the next fitting color, and as I did that, I just held it to kind of see if that color palette would work, covering up the red brown that I had laid beforehand. And so it was quite easy for me to then imagine how the color would be exactly without needing to swatch it out somewhere else. And then I decided to bring out the color underneath by creating texture using the Catalyst by Princeton. They come in different sizes. As you can see, I started with the smaller, and then I will be moving on to the bigger size. So these 4 little pictures are ready, and I had so much fun painting them. If I had to pick my favorite, it would be somewhere between these 2. Here I tried a bit of a minimal kind of tree look, and I didn't enjoy it as much creating it. I do like the look of it, but in terms of creating, the most enjoyment I had were actually these two. But I do love the background and the wash here, so this is something definitely I would try again, just with more detailed trees. And this is, to me, such a nice representation of the English countryside in the winter time, with a little tiny cottage here and some wood burner going and the chimney smoke going up into the sky. It's also kind of unclear whether it's nighttime or daytime. I love the color scheme here, very unusual, very kind of me. It feels, when I look at this, I can see myself in terms of color palette here. I also love the fact that I played with textures. This is very representative of the fields and the lines that are left after the crops are taken. So perhaps it's not very seasonal because this was from a different season, but if you haven't lived in the countryside, you probably wouldn't necessarily look at it and think about it this way. So, you know, just I kind of took the English countryside, different aspects of it during different times of year, and kind of put it all together here. And I just love this. And the other thing that I really enjoyed is going through all of my art supplies, as I have been collecting them throughout the years. And in particular this year I have really kind of gone into certain colors, and I'm very happy with what I have. And I just feel that now I can simply open up a sketchbook and start creating. So this is exactly what it was about. And that's it. So let's peel off the tape. It looks even better now. This feels so good looking at them now. All the colors and all the different mediums combined, and how they were flowing into one another, different types of textures it could create. This particular scene here is something that I have been driving through or driving past very frequently, because close to where we live there's this beautiful little kind of hill in the distance, and then you can see there's like loads and loads of fields around it, and then there's this line of trees standing there or sitting there, and it just looks so beautiful. Every time I drive past I always look at it and think I must try to paint it. And I did before, but it didn't really sort of give me that much pleasure. I wasn't really sure where I was going with it. But I have to say, having worked on my color palette this year, focused on it and kind of make the colors really stand out for themselves, I then was left with trying to find a style. And you know, I'm trying to develop it now, and I feel like somewhere in between these two, it's where I will be going. But love the color palette here as well. Now this one is sort of my least favorite. I kind of was trying to do something where I'm playing with pencils and trying to create almost a childlike picture. You know, when children just scribble around without any care, but it comes out looking quite nice. And that's where I was sort of heading with it. And there are some artists and that create beautiful paintings in this style, but for me, I couldn't understand what I was doing, so it wasn't really my thing. Whereas working with the paints, with the Acryla Gouache and the Durban Inktense watercolors and acrylic paints, all of that really gave me a lot of joy. So I think going forward I will try to incorporate watercolor as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.